Hey everybody, welcome to Independence Title. My name's Kevin Tacher, the founder and CEO of Independence Title. We are the premier title company here in South Florida, specifically for real estate investors. Today I want to talk to you about the ABCs. So let's roll back a little bit. Let's do a little throwback to when you were 3 or 4 years old and you learned about ABC, right? You learned your ABCs. A comes first, B comes second, and then what's last? C. It's a very simple concept when we're talking about investor double closings, but it's something that a lot of people truly do not understand. So when we're talking about ABC, we're talking about a wholesale transaction where you may be buying a short sale or you may be buying a foreclosure from the bank and you're looking to wholesale it. Maybe do a same-day closing, a simultaneous closing, maybe wait 24 hours as long as there's no deed restriction. So we're talking about contract A to B and B to C. So just to cover that real quick, A is going to be the bank or the seller of the property, the current owner. B is going to hopefully be you, maybe the wholesaler that's in the middle of the transaction. You found the seller and you found someone who wants to pay maybe $5,000 or $10,000 more for the property. So you lock that deal up on a contract that we call A to B. Got it? Great. Now we're going to go to B to C. B to C is going to be you as the wholesaler now becoming the seller because you're going to wholesale that deal. You're going to close on it cash. But wait, you don't have that $100,000 cash to close on it. We will fund the deal for you. We have investors that will put up your transactional funding for you to make sure you're closing cash with the seller who's what? A. Now, okay, now we're going to talk about B to C. B is you, the seller. Then we're going to go from you as the seller to your end buyer, who is going to maybe be the rehabber, someone who is going to buy, fix, and maybe resell or buy, fix, and rent that property. Very, very important. So the topic of today's Title Tuesdays, we're talking about the ABCs of real estate investing when it comes to contracts is, would you buy something under certain terms and conditions and then sell it under different terms and conditions? That theory doesn't make sense. And one of the things that we see, common mistakes that wholesalers make in this business, is that the terms and conditions on contract A do not flow with terms and conditions on contract B. So sometimes you may see where you're buying it as is from the bank, maybe with an existing code enforcement violation or maybe an open permit or something. But then when you do the contract to B, you're not selling it with those same issues. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two that we see a lot of times is maybe when you're buying, you as the buyer are paying all of the closing costs. And then when you're selling, you as the seller are paying all the closing costs, and guess what happened? You just got double whammy. Remember that game show? You got a double whammy. So we want to make sure you are set up for success so you don't have a triple whammy, because that can be very detrimental, because I have seen investors come to a closing table and actually have to bring in money to close on a deal, maybe $1,000, maybe $1,500, and people would say, well, why would they bring money to closing? Aren't they in business to make money? Yes, it's because they made a mistake. They didn't account for the closing costs on the deal to make sure what they're paying on the buy, what they're paying on the sell, and they were short at closing. So then you say, well, why would I pay to buy a house? Because you're at risk to lose that $5,000 deposit. So instead of losing $5,000, you were now able to put up $1,500 for closing. So now you only lost $1,500, keeping that $3,500 back in your pocket. So today's episode is really for real estate investors that are buying and selling wholesale deals that are closing the same day. Please, 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 no matter what you do, make sure the terms of contract A match the terms of contract B. And as a special bonus for you, we have a wholesale addendum that has been drafted by many of the local real estate investors here in South Florida that is used on a lot of contracts, and we can share some of those tips and nuggets with you to make sure that you are set up for success when you're buying and selling real estate. And last but not least, I'm going to wrap it up with this, and there are local investors that I know that do this, is they make the end buyer pay all, and I mean all, A, B, C, all closing and acquisition costs. So it means whatever your costs as the wholesaler was to buy the property and sell the property, your end buyer is paying. And people say, well, end buyers don't take that. They take it all day long, folks. It's a matter of what's in the contract. So you have what's called now a net contract. Buying at $85,000, selling at $95,000, you put $10,000 profit in your pocket. The closing costs and acquisition costs from closing A are all passed through to the end buyer, the investor who's buying it, buyer C. You get it? You got it? Good. Don't forget to subscribe below. We have a ton of educational series that's coming out on our YouTube channel every single Tuesday for Title Tuesdays. It's all about educating you, empowering you, and giving you all the tools necessary so you could be successful in today's real estate market. Again, my name's Kevin Tacher, the founder and CEO of Independence Title. You are watching Title Tuesdays. Subscribe below, and I look forward to seeing you at the closing table.